Yo, welcome back to Crate 808 and the concluding part of our latest debate. We went in, Ghostface, Iron Man, I brought that to the table. Then James reluctantly brought Volume 2, Hard Knock Life by Jay-Z, which is fun, great fun hour to talk about. And today, now, we've got Raymond Ridge, James Midwinter. Raymond is bringing one of my favourite records, so I'm looking forward to seeing the argument you do to dismantle it, Ray. 1995's Labcab in California, Pharcyde. Ray.
I just stubbed my toe on a dictionary. I guess I just trying to kick something that means something that means something, trying to kick something that means something.
Oh my God, there's like moments, and I sometimes do wonder why I bring you on. And now, and those moments just crystalline. I just love the road mapping. I love the road mapping to all your jokes, Ray. So I'm here for that.
Signposted miles ahead.
So, Ray, it's 1995. Tell me why you think Labcab deserves to be in Crate 808.
Just really good, isn't it?
It is really good. It is really good.
Well, it's worth saying, of course, Slim Kid Trey himself has already been on Crate 808, so everyone
it's in.
It's
in.
Oh, has he? Oh, okay.
So let's go to
5
new
out of
music.
5.
Cheers for listening, James.
I'm on the podcast. I don't have to listen to it as well, do I? Jesus.
True.
He just gets as far as Wikipedia and then stops. That's it. That's all he does. All he does.
Mate, let's not bring that. Let's not bring that.
First page of Wikipedia. All What's wrong with that?
But anyway. It's already been a Crate 808, so it's worth everyone just check out that episode yourself. It's not worth me needlessly repeating shit that Slim Kid Ray himself says. That being said, what he said was, he says beats should take you somewhere before you even put the lyrics over them. That's how they nailed it with Bullshit, Running, and Drop. They were just on repeat, and they were all just bumping them before they even laid in any lyrics over them. And that's what you alluded to at the end of during the Volume 2 episode. You said about how your Volume 2 playlist just flowed into Labcab, and the whole mood changed. The whole vibe shifted, which it does when Labcab comes on, and the beats are happy, upbeat beats. But this album was always carried by the beats and not so much the lyrics. Now, they were blessed with what might be characterized as kind of an unfair advantage, being that this album, J Dilla's on the beats. This is a ridiculous J Dilla beat. Not all of them, they did some of them themselves, but the Dilla beats
are... on like 7 of the 7.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bullshit, we're going to go into the tracks in more detail, but for the sake of starting, Bullshit, Splattitorium, Something That Means Something, Drop, and of course, Running, which, just to shoehorn it in there, it gets on the much coveted Alien playlist, which is 100 tracks. 100 tracks that you play to an alien to define hip-hop, in short. But that's an episode unto itself. But yeah, Running's got its own.
Come on.
I was going to say it's got its, like that. Yeah, all of it. Just when it starts, you're just like, yeah, it just takes you to another place. But first, we don't have a category for this, so that's why I thought I'd start with it. Well, I've kind of started with that, but we'll start again with this. Labcab can't be spoken about without talking about the video to Drop.
I'm here.
I've got
notes for this. Let's go.
Yeah, how I went to Pharcyde.
There is a category for this. Not for videos. We always talk about videos anyway. But let's just put it into this category for me. You have rewindable moments. You have hidden gems. You have age the best, age the worst. We also talk about 5 mic moments. And are these the moments that crystallise the height, the absolute apex for this group? For me, Drop and the Drop video is that for Pharcyde. In their career, I reckon after they dropped that, it crystallised almost everything about them. And what can they do? They could possibly go on and do anything after that if they wanted to. So yes, we can talk about the drop video. Ray, I would like to hear what your thoughts are, and James, I'll jump to you after. But Ray, what was your thoughts on the drop video?
I mean, just the same as everyone else. It just blew your mind when it came out. It's ridiculous. It's just showing that, like, you know, rules can be broken, and that's what Pharcyde are all about, and just doing some creative shit just because kind of thing. And that's what a lot of Slim Kid Trey alluded to that a lot in the when he talks about and we'll get to it, the album cover for Bizarre Ride is, you know, it's just us fucking having a laugh, suggesting this, suggesting that, and the drop just feels the video to drop just feels like more of that kind of behavior. So I'm going to try it now live on Create. It's not live, it's recorded, but we'll try it on Create. 808 Turk Good Bark Some.
Are you trying to redo it? Fair play to you.
Rewind that now in the edit.
Let's see if it works. Because Slim does say, well, they all said this, didn't they? That it's like that for the video, they learnt their shit backwards.
Yes, exactly. So that's
so fucking hard to do.
Should have said that before the thing. Anyway, you worked it out. So they learnt everything backwards, and then the video is played backwards. Anyway, you have to see the video, and it will our nonsensical explanations of the video will make sense when you watch the video.
It's funny because it's exactly how I understand your ass backwards opinions. Is I listen to them backwards afterwards, and then I'm like, oh, that's what he meant. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. It's perfect. They make one way or another. They make sense. Just that was. Subscribe to Crate 808, but anyway,
and Crate 808, not 888. Don't subscribe to Crate 888 because that might be something completely different.
Crate 888 might be all right as well. You know,
it might be big up.
It's the hip hop bookies.
Big up Crate 888.
The hip hop bookies. The bookies on this getting in. What are the odds? Who knows? I'm judging, so probably not going to get in. But I love the fact you're bringing this. Let's keep going with it. Labcab. I've got my own views on it. James. We talked about drop there. I'm going to go into drop as well. But for yourself, Labcab, where does it stand for you in your listening? I don't know. Where does it stand in this debate?
I was never. I mean, obviously, if you haven't heard the main tracks on this album before, you're not really a hip hop fan. Like they're like ubiquitous in hip hop, but the album itself, I didn't really listen to it that much until Spike Jonze. I got into Spike Jonze's music videos in like the early 2000s. Sort of there was a retrospective DVD of everything he'd done. Like he's done some amazing ones. He did "Sky's the Limit" by Notorious B.I.G., Buddy Holly. He did "Defunk" by Daft Punk. Stuff like that. And so, just amazingly creative director, hooking up with a brilliant band. And like, it was, and then like, I kind of enjoyed the Pharcyde, but like, it's one of those ones where like, they're never been in my rotation. I've always preferred Tribe personally, but then listening to this album, like little things like Splattitorium in between,
unbelievable,
just like one that's not in heavy rotation usually, like, but when you come to listen to it on the album, it just sounds so great in amongst everything.
Hidden gem. That's my hidden gem on
it's
this album.
It's a really consistent album, isn't it? It like all these big tracks that like you just know, like they're just ubiquitous. It's linked together by a load of great tracks in between that's just got such nice detail in the production. I'd say there are a few misses on it. I love the fact that one of the biggest misses of the album, She Said, for me, has one of the worst videos I've ever seen in hip hop.
Really?
It's just awful. It's an awful video.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not as bad as some videos in the hip hop. They're clearly on holiday.
It's just boring. It's just boring shit.
Do you know what the weird thing is for that video? Because it's Pharcyde, you don't expect that. I expected, and the expectations they put for themselves are these passing me by, you know, your mama, more fish, all this stuff they've done before. They're creatively so just out there. And I know, Ray, you were saying there, like the beats carry this. I'm a Dilla head, obviously. The beats are incredible. But, you know, I've always loved the way the Pharcyde rhyme because you kind of like put them in with the Tribe thing there a little bit. They're so not Tribe to me. Because every time I heard them, as a kid, I could never geographically lock them down because in my binary 13, 14, 15-year-old mind, West Coast was one thing, East Coast was one thing. I didn't really listen to South that much, but what are these guys? I don't know what they are, and their rhyming stood out to me. They're on this album more than the last. their rhyming schemes are fucking cavalier, to say the least. Like, they just go for these different ways. Yo, just interrupting this episode to give you a quick update on our plans for 2021. But before I do, just remember to subscribe on YouTube and like this video. Also, get involved in the comments. We always have some dope takes on there, so shout out to people that are getting involved. We love reading them, and hopefully some more of you guys can get on there and we'll shout you out on the episodes coming up. Now, on to 2021. We here at Crate 808 are setting up a Patreon where for the price of a pint or a coffee every month, we'll be bringing you even more dope hip-hop episodes. Simply go to crate808.com, subscribe to the newsletter, you'll get all the updates on our plans, but as a taster, each month we're thinking of bringing you 90s rap hidden gem album reviews that you can vote for. So if you enjoy people like Master Ace, Diamond D, The Lynch Mob, Paris, Big Noid, Blase, we'll be doing a lot more of those. We're going to do our Why I Love series, the MF Doom and J Dilla editions. Each month we'll bring on a guest and dig into why they love a certain Doom or JD track, and then test that love. How deep is that love? So expect some nostalgia right there. Next up, Wu-Tang Chronicles, Ghostface Killah edition. We're aiming here, I don't know if it's going to be good or bad, but we're aiming to go through every solo Wu project, and we're going to start with Ghostface catalogue. So we're going to go in, we're going to talk about the music, we're going to talk about the fashion sense, and just some of the amazing bars he's dropped in that career. So you can expect that as well. And then for every patron who comes on, get your name on the credits, the Crate 808 credits, and in our Hall of Fame. So that'll be, I don't know how that's going to look right now, but we're going to give each of you a little bit of shine and a shout out on the show. And the Griselda Marathon, I want to do it. If we get enough patrons, we're going to do it. We're going to go through every single Griselda project and really let's dive in, yeah? So get involved. Hit up crate808.com, subscribe to the newsletter, as well as the YouTube and the podcast. Now, back to the episode.
One of my favourite moments on this album, and it's on Running, it's everyone's favourite track of this album, but just when Trey's verse, when it's that bit, it's everyone's tried singing along to it, and no one's sung along to the whole thing. So that whole first bit where there comes a time in every man's life when he's got to handle shit upon his own, can't depend on friends, blah, 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 blah. But then it goes to please, they got problems of their own, and then you're out, you're gone, you're being where I'm from. Everyone comes back in and being where I'm from. you missed that whole bit.
Do you know what I love about them as well? Their lines, they have a lot of messaging. They say a lot of dark shit. This is a lot darker than their first album. In that fact, like you saying there, it's airy and stuff. It is like it's more like
got Aryan stuff in it. I've missed that totally. Wow.
Airy and stuff. Okay. It's like, the beats can be quite like lifting, but I think the rhyming is really quite heavy. But you know what I love about them? And my favourite track is Drop, and I think that's just the iconic like moment for them. The fact that, sometimes I don't even listen to what you're saying. I just like the harmony. And you're just doing the harmony. It's 1995, but I told you, but I told you. It's like all of that, it's just embedded in my mind as like, it's just the flow. I love that. And I love that about this album. It feels like that from pretty much head to toe. Feels like a good just flow through the whole thing. We're going to go, so 5 Mic moment. We talked about Drop. I just need to talk about Drop on the fact that obviously it's Dilla, right? So you got to talk about Dilla and Dilla's masterpieces that he's done. I think with Drop, he hits more of an elite level because there's not... It's a masterpiece. There's not one weak point in that track. The humming, the infectious, fucking timeless, like kind of harmonies to it, and the fact that when I was a kid, when you watch something and it almost innovates your like listening, it innovated my whole idea of what hip hop was. I never knew hip hop could be this weird, trippy ass fucking beat where at the end they're like going, what's that? Where the going down, that whole bit where it gets all really
it's very
trippy.
Psychedelic, doesn't it?
Yeah, psychedelic. That's the word. Yeah, and I'd never seen that. And I think what works well with Dilla, and it's always been the way with Dilla, is you can listen to his tracks, Janet Jackson tracks, whatever, singles, commercially, And very simple. You can think they're very simple and they make you move. Okay, and they touch you. That's cool, like that. But if you actually really scratch under the surface of tracks from J Dilla, they have so much emotion and flips of samples and instruments you've never heard. If you really take the time to do it, that this is all at once, really smooth, really haunting, really bright, but also like, you know, when you're stoned and you're just hazed out, and that drop feels like you're smoking a J almost. It's like, Jesus, it's got so many different things to it. So on that level, I love it. And the video itself, you know, we talked about like, what was that infamous album that you brought, Ray, when you brought Infamous, and we were talking about Prodigy and Havoc and the skit about them having a go at people about stars and the universe, you know, they hated it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, the Pharcyde must have just been the last thing Havoc wanted on his rotation, right? But not are they only talking about stars and stuff like that, but if you really intellectualize Spike Jonze, the Beastie Boys cameo, everything in that video, it's so iconic, right? But the fact is, not only are they talking about stars, but now they're playing with time and dimensions, and they just make an example of just let's do everything backwards in time, and the dimensions being, let's break the fourth dimension, you know, when they smash the glass at the end of the video, which is really the beginning of the video.
Yeah.
And you're like, shit, they're actually just breaking time convention. They've basically shroomed to fuck. They've took so many shrooms, they're all over the place. So for me, drop is that moment for me. I had like running down as well, but let's put that in a category, right? Most rewindable, running. What other rewindables are on this then, Ray? Because you've named a few, but most rewindable moments.
I'm going to destroy the whole setup of this thing, because Age the Best is running. Most rewindable is running. Hottest Part off the album, they're in running. Just it's that. It's on the Alien playlist. I know it's not a fucking category, but it's one of mine. So it's just, I don't know. I guess maybe. The hidden gem of this is... Wait, is that what you said?
Well, yeah, I've got most rewindable moments, but you can go hidden gems, mate. Why not? Let's go.
Do what you want, mate.
It's kind of a bit of both, to be honest. It's kind of a bit of both, because the thing with it is, like, so while the beats are ridiculous, Dilla beats are ridiculous, and the ones that weren't made by Dilla,
Diamond Deep.
They were ridiculous, but the rhymes always kept passing me by. That's off the other album. But anyway, but now I've like paid more attention for the purpose of this podcast, right? So bullshit, Hey You, and Why, they're all about get off that bullshit. It's about telling the truth. It's about tell the truth and not lying. And it's about
what is
group
real.
therapy. Yeah, group therapy is about like cutting people out of your life and going to therapy. And it's like basically being mates with people who want the best for you. It's got to kick something that means something. The hustle just don't matter. She said they're all about pursuing what is meaningful. And running, Splattitorium, and Devil Music is basically about like running. Can't keep running away. It's about standing up for yourself and facing your problems head on, and like treating yourself like someone that's you're responsible for helping. Now, I might have been signposting this. Some people will already know where this is leading. Jambo probably won't. Anyway, I'm not saying I'm not this. Look, let me finish before I'm going to start. Let me finish, okay? I'm not saying this to say that you should read Jordan Peterson.
God.
You shouldn't. You're not ready. It's fine. But Jordan Peterson spent a lifetime studying all those things, lecturing, discussing, and developing his thoughts as a psychologist, seeing patients daily, and has written a couple of books of wisdom or whatever you want to call them, and has become the most successful public intellectual off the back of it. I'm not saying you need to read that, but what I am saying, but the point is, the Pharcyde came to the same realization on this album 26 fucking years ago.
So, which is
all of those things that I just said. Pursue what is meaningful. Treat yourself like someone you're responsible for helping. Be mates with people that want the best for you. Tell the truth, or at least don't lie. Those are things that these tracks are about.
Just common sense things, guys.
They're literally about those things. Yeah, but they're not, though, are they? That's exactly the
common
point.
sense things for years.
It's not common sense, though, is it, Jambo? That's the tragedy of fucking life.
It actually is.
No, it isn't. But it isn't, though, is it? Because people don't live that. People do. It's fucking so frustrating speaking to you, because you keep.
I get what you mean.
You're speaking completely opposite to what the point I'm making isn't about Jordan Peterson. The point about it is to A, fucking throw it in your face, and B, is the point. Yeah, exactly. They're ahead of their time. All the shit they fucking realise is...
Are you saying they're better than Jordan Peterson?
Yes,
I'm saying
100%.
Jordan Peterson is as good as the Pharcyde. That's what I'm saying.
No. Let's not get in now for that.
Seriously, that commenter's comment about Jordan Peterson not being hip hop and has nothing to do with hip hop really got to you, didn't it?
Oh yeah, there was a comment. Big up whoever commented.
Yeah, really big up to that person.
It's not even being about hip hop, and you know I don't care about what people on Twitter say, but
it was YouTube.
It was YouTube. But either way. No, I'm digging into what Ray's saying, though. What Ray's saying is, especially on Running, and remember, this is a single that performed quite well. I don't think the album sold loads, but I remember Running being on, the video being on all the time. And on that, the video is fucking cool, because I remember the fact that I'd never seen something where it's about bullying, which as a kid, when you're watching that, I don't really know what everyone else's childhood was like, but that affected me. That, you know, when you see like Fat Lip, is it Fat Lip? Yeah, I think he's like talking about not having a dad and not knowing how to just smack someone in the mouth if they say some shit to you, but he will, you know, and it really invigorated you as a kid because you were like, yeah, fuck. But at the same time in that video, they've got like a slave auction block and they're all dressed like in these white cotton suits in the south of America. I remember thinking, this is a really weird. That's a really weird comparison to make in a video, but maybe there's something there. Maybe I'm not clever enough to figure out that thread, but from being a young black man who's got no dad to helping him out bullying and then relating it to how you even landed on them shores, I'm sure there's some lineage there. But on that, on Running, what I also loved about that is that message. Like, it is ahead of its time. When I was listening to tracks, I was listening to gangster music or I was listening to swag rap, like mafioso rap. None of that's about me being bullied, yet Fat Lip is here and he's telling me about stuff that I might actually need to know in my life, you know? So it did affect me on that side as well. Jambo, on Most Rewindables, you talked about Splattitorium.
Yep.
That's also a hidden gem and a most rewindable moment.
Yep.
Just fucking sublime. Is there any other rewindable moments? Or let's just go hidden gems because Ray tried to put the two together as well. So
I actually really like the self-titled track on this, Pharcyde. Yeah, great song. Great beat as well. And it's like, I think Ray was saying earlier, like, or was it you? I can't remember. I think it was you saying about how beats can be, you can take what you want from the beats. They have like a sort of minor tone to them. So they can be happy, but also they can be slightly sad as well. I kind of like that, the way J Dilla does that. It's not just like candy floss happy beats. There's like a slightly sad tone to them as well. So like yesterday I was walking to basketball and like, had in the sun listening to Pharcyde, felt great, and on the way back I heard some bad news from a friend, and like the sort of same songs were giving me a slightly like melancholy vibe to them. I like that.
They do switch like that.
Yeah, the album's great. I mean, just the fact that like you start off with Bullshit and Pharcyde at the start, great songs. You've got Drop in the middle, holding everything together, and then it ends with Devil Music and the END, and like, which is a lot of rap albums. I'd say 90% of rap albums just phone it in for the last few songs. I mean, volume 2 in particular, that's got some really bad ending tracks to it. So
I like the END, and I like Devil Music. I think that absolutely. I think Devil's Music as well showcase their chemistry is great throughout this whole thing. And in that interesting, what Slim was saying on I know people who haven't heard the interview, but Slim Kid Dre was saying, to get stuff like Running made, to get stuff like Drop made, people had to get punched in the mouth. Like, these guys were genuinely fighting each other. And apparently Dilla turned up from Detroit and they were in the car and they were just fucking going at it. And Dilla was going, you guys are like my favourite group. Stop fighting. And it's like, it's almost a really weird backdrop to the whole album where you can see why they broke up. But to make this, and it's like them fully well knowing that what's he saying on Devil's Music? I'm putting my soul onto reels I don't even own.
Yeah,
like,
I
that's
like that.
Fucking deep. Yeah. Like they know, and that's a real thing.
That's what me and Ray are doing every time we come into this podcast.
And I just sell this off, snip it off onto t-shirts. But in that thing nowadays, though, like that is a debate people are having. When Black Rob passed, R.I.P., people did think about Bad Boy. People did think about Diddy and Puff Daddy and what has he done for these artists that carried him. I don't know enough about that, but the debate and the conversation is very much there. And the fact that these guys are saying that then, when they're like, you know, do say something that means something, but also we know we've sold our soul. And it's like, fuck, man, how must that feel? Like, you know, where you've captured yourself in a moment of time in art, and it's not yours. It's not yours. It's not mine. Which is just really fascinating. It's a thing you can really go down, right? So, yeah. Also, hottest bars, man. There's some brilliant bars on there. Okay, I've got another one here for you. Hidden Gems.
H the worst.
And we've got to go there in a minute, obviously. But Hidden Gems, I've got one here. The Hustle, man. That track, actually, there's a moment, there's that track switches as well. It breaks up halfway through, and it really does sound like to me that could drop today. I reckon you could drop The Hustle today, and someone could rhyme over it, and you'd be like, oh yeah, that's a fucking dope track. So I really enjoy that track, produced by Booty Brown, actually. So yeah. So although Dilla's on here, and Diamond D's on here, and other people on there, Booty Brown, Slim Kid, they are doing tracks, and it's like they're creatively very much involved. They're not just like, Dilla, you do everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
My Age the Worst is actually on that track.
What, The Hustle?
Yeah, which is the guy who says, like Russell Simmons, I like the women.
Oh God, yeah.
Maybe don't like them like Russell does.
Yeah. I forgot about. I forgot that line. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, shit. Ray, anything else for Hidden Gems, mate? I've got a few here, but I want to
hidden gems just don't matter. That beat.
Oh, just
yeah. It's just got and also it's a hidden gem because it's a bonus track as well. If Winter Wars is included in Ghostface, well, we've got to include the bonus tracks on this, haven't we?
No, Winter Wars is the bonus. The Winter Wars is part of Iron Man. I know what this is. You're for the most
Christ.
90s head.
Not in Australia. It's not fucking available. So
have you got the CD?
It's not in UK either. It's blacked out at the moment.
It's on the album when you bought the album
Spotify,
in the 90s.
He didn't listen to hip hop in the 90s. We've worked this out by now.
He only listened since Spotify. Yeah, you're right. Ray, you were in my room. We were listening to albums, and I'm sure we played Iron Man a few times, and it has got it on there. I just can't believe your whole thing with Winter Wars, but
it's overrated. Fucking overrated.
But
anyway,
bonus tracks.
Just don't matter. One of the bonus tracks is just fucking ridiculous beat. Yeah,
I enjoy that.
It's not on my Spotify one. On my copy of
the Australian one. That's what you need.
Yeah. You should move to Australia. It's on the. I can't remember what it is. It's a different release, but you'll find it. And also a bonus track is one of is the Age of the Worst as well. Have you heard Emerald Butterfly?
Nope.
Oh, I have, but I don't remember it that well.
No,
I remember
So if you haven't, don't. That's all you need to learn. It's not a good track. I don't know why. And so we keep referring back to the interview. Of course, we're going to do that because Slim Kid Trey's been on fucking Create 808. Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
but
and it's insight. It's great insight.
I think he did. Was it him? He mentioned that there was 6. They went to New York and they recorded 60 tracks, and out of those 60 tracks, they chose. That's what the tracks that made up Labcab. And just Emerald Butterfly shouldn't have made it basically.
But I don't think. But I don't even think on my. I don't know actually. I have to check my CD. But I don't even think when I brought that, them bonus tracks weren't on there. So like I remember, when you get into your Dilla mode and you're like fucking digging into them Dilla archives. One of the hidden gems for me, but also just how fucking creative they were at this time. Why is a great track anyway. Big up. That's a great track. It was co-produced by Dilla to begin with, but the fucking remix, Dilla's remix of Why. I remember just finding it in these Dilla tapes, and the drums on that fucking snap, and it's so fucking smooth. And if that was on this album, you'd just be like, why is this not on the album? But then again, Why, and I love flutes, don't you? Why's got fucking 6 xylophones. 6 xylophones. So if anyone's got any xylophone hip hop, I'm here. Drop me more xylophone hip hop.
Underrated xylophone.
It really is. If you listen to Why, I'll tell you what. Listen to Why. It's fucking.
Oh,
banging.
I've just found the JD remix.
Oh, it's binging. It's binging and it's banging.
I smell another Create 808 playlist coming up.
What's that? Most slept on J Dilla tracks.
No, xylophone hip hop. No.
Oh, xylophone hip hop. Yes, let's go. Absolutely.
And flute hip hop.
Absolutely.
Xylophone and flute hip hop.
Yes.
Just all hip hop. Just hip hop. Let's have a hip hop playlist. Oh, we've got one. Good.
This might be Age the Best, but it could also be Age the Worst, depending on how you feel about Janet Jackson. But I did hear Moment in Time the other day. I had it on in the kitchen whilst we were cooking. My wife loves that track. And I was like, wow, M Walk fucking smashed that. But then I was listening to it and I was like, fuck me, this is just a Janet Jackson track off Velvet Rope in it, or just a Janet Jackson track from the 90s. So if you ever listen to Moment in Time, one, it's incredibly hippie. The hook is, about a moment in time and how time is a concept and all this, and you're like, fuck me, this is not me robbing motherfuckers on the corner at all. But it's also like, yeah, shit, like this really reminds me of a time in R&B. And then you realise, it's because J Dilla's all those albums as well, and he did signpost that neo soul movement, and there's a lot of that in this. Any other hidden gems for you, James, before we move on?
No.
Okay, so that's absolutely fine. I was going to say, if by the way, James, if you haven't spoke to Splattitorium, please do, because it is a bomb.
I might
banger.
do. Splattitorium's probably in my top 3 favourite tracks on this album, just for the beats.
Yes,
just for the beats.
Absolutely. Luscious,
Can we just talk
luscious.
about the one? Like, I'm obviously, this is my favourite album of the 3 that have been brought to this debate.
More than I am, man.
But I will have to bring a little bit of hate. Imani. When Imani's good, he's very good. When Imani's not good, he's a very irritating voice, isn't he?
Is it really? I don't think it's they
when
have
he's doing
all,
it's 1999. That's good.
95,
Well, that's
I told you,
good.
but-
I'm into that. But when he's doing other stuff, sometimes he's just really irritating. And then
I don't know. I love the
singing.
character.
Sometimes the singing gets annoying on this album. Like, it's a bit too R&B for me, especially She Said. The last verse of She Said.
You sound a bit like Chris Rock right
To
now.
be honest,
Because
I don't listen to She Said much. It's a bit too... And she said... It's too slow.
It's a different vibe to the others. Absolutely.
He's got some lines though that on drop, that whole got a mad and trembling because I've been a bit
It's true. What would it be? Fucking brilliant. Oh man, what a fucking album. But I was going to say, Chris Rock was fucking. I was reading just reviews of this, and just see what people were thinking back in the day. And mate, Source give it 4 mics, so it's okay. Source is fucking on it. It knows it was fucking amazing. But like the LA Times gave it 2 stars, and just was like, and they do make a good point, which is what I remember at the time. When you rinse an album, after a while, I was like, there's so much subtleties to this album that when you're listening to it after the 100th time, it becomes so subtle you kind of miss it. It's almost like you need to really concentrate after a while. I don't know, it's weird because it's not as fresh. So maybe when you leave the album and you go back to it, it sounds much better. You can't rinse this album because it becomes a little bit too subtle for me, which is what the LA Times had in there. But,
I could see why. You got to look at what like albums came out that year and like where
95,
it's
fucking
huge.
Yeah,
there's
Q
a lot
Hectic was out that time. You know what I mean? You can't fuck about with Q Hectic.
It's a modern masterpiece, Q Hectic.
It is, but you know what, the Chris Rock reference I was making, I think he made a mistake here, but people have really cottoned onto it on like the message boards and shit. He was talking about Bizarre Ride, and he called them one-hit wonders, and he was like, man, really weird how these one-hit wonders come about and like they never do anything ever again and they just go. I'm like, motherfucker, he made Lab Cab. It's better. Lab Cab's probably... I prefer Lab Cab to Bizarre.
Definitely.
All right. But the fact that Chris Rock was just like completely dismissed this whole era of Pharcyde and J Dilla, but I think he probably made a mistake doing it. But it's interesting that I do feel there were people who weren't loving it as much, and I think in time... Well, I know I loved it when it came out, but, it's because it is different. And do you know another thing that's fucking great about this album, by the way, Ray?
What?
Is, you talked about, I think you talked about it before, where we talked about like how things are a window and a passport into like different worlds. World building is huge in hip hop, right? Right now, you have West Side Gun, and he builds these weird artistic worlds for you to get immersed in, right? And I love that, and it makes you feel like a kid, and it's like, Thundercats or some shit, you really get into it. This, I remember at the time, I would never have found out about the Good Life Cafe or about spoken word poetry on the West Coast scene, or that Snoop was at that scene. Well, Snoop was in that scene. Snoop's memory of what I have of him is gangster rapper, young, and hella fucking charismatic with bars. And then when you listen to this, it gives you a window into LA, where I was like, oh yeah, LA isn't just that. LA isn't just Suge Knight and Eazy-E and Compton rap. It's these guys who are just doing their normal shit, and they're hippies, they get shroomed all the time. And the Good Life Cafe, I would never have heard of it if I hadn't heard Labcab. So another thing about this album that's brilliant is the world building it gives me. Who doesn't want more of a universe to explore in hip hop? Do you know what I mean? tomorrow someone comes out with, I don't know, 3 heads, and they're like, this is new rap from, Newark. And it's like, yeah, I mean, first of all, you got 3 heads. But second of all, I want to find new worlds to explore.
Are you on mushrooms right now?
Yeah, I did microdose before I jumped on. But yeah, no, so I think this album works on lots of different levels, which is what you said, Ray, which is like, it's a cohesive fucking brilliant record, but also it gives you that idea of, it brings you something different when you're a 15-year-old. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly. Especially when you compare it to the other things that were out at the time as well, which is, just when you're talking about your, what Nas is putting out and what Mobb Deep are putting out, and which is, from our perspective, is massive escapism anyway. And
true.
But yeah, this
Speak
is
for
just
yourself.
It's quite.
I forgot about Jumbo's rough upbringing.
Yeah,
in Leamington Spa.
Life and times. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so wait, what haven't we done? Hottest bars.
So no, I was going to go into my next category. Was going to be we're going to do Age the Worst, because I know we've got to talk about this. We can't talk about this album being brilliant without talking about Little D. So,
Do we
James,
have to? I think we mentioned it's just a really bad skit. Let's just put it down to that. It's just a very bad skit.
We did talk about it on Volume 2 a bit more.
It's one of these things that's banter between mates, which should be just kept private. Like, I think maybe this isn't the appropriate thing, but when Donald Trump was just grab him by the pussy, I think that was banter between mates. I don't think he actually did that.
No,
and then
that's not.
Oh my god, he's so outright. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. No.
But he wasn't saying it on to the fucking American public. He was just saying it between mates. And this is another thing that should have just been like, just between mates. I don't think
Trump
it should be
apologist now.
No, it isn't.
He's not an apologist.
That's literally not what I said, is it? It's literally what I'm saying is that he was having banter with him and his guy. He just grabbed him by the pussy. It doesn't actually grab him by the pussy, but it was fucking blown up. I don't think we should blow this up. This is banter between mates. Okay. It is a Hurricane G moment. Larry let down. What are we calling him again?
It's a proper Larry letdown moment.
It is a bit of a
Well, you're like, this is great. This is really good. And then you get to a point where they're talking about a little kid and...
Yeah, I just have sex in front of them so that they know...
I bet people would go to us and go, well, you like the G's and Hustlers skit, don't you? With that bit at the beginning with the kid.
That's all right. Swearing's fine.
Okay, right. Okay, so it's not the swearing. It's the...
Kids are inevitably going to hear swearing. This is
it isn't just a swearing, yeah. True.
That's not the part that I've got an issue with.
So Age the Worst, fair. I think Age the Worst is
wait. Let James elaborate.
The skits in general are shit. Like
let him elaborate. So what, Jambo? What is it? What is the part that you have a problem with?
Of Little D?
No, just of kids swearing.
No, I don't have. I said I don't have a problem with kids swearing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He said
that's a weird thing to say. It's a weird sentence to say out loud, isn't it? I don't have a problem with kids swearing
either, because they're going to swear either way.
What about in school to teach?
Yeah, they're not allowed to swear at school. How's that? But Age the Worst, I don't think there's anything more really. I mean, other than it, you might have some. Have you got any others for Age the Worst in this album? I think it's aged quite nicely.
Yes, all the skits. 90s and skits. I don't know why. It just was this big craze. Like it's like Xannies now. Just all rappers love to really shit skit. They go on too long as well, and like
I think it's banter between mates, which to the mates involved is hilarious. But it's not funny to everyone else.
It's like this podcast.
It's like this podcast.
Yeah, it's a bit like this podcast. It's a little bit like this podcast. Sorry, guys. Do subscribe and do like. Do subscribe and do like.
Click the bell for more.
Click the bell, please. But okay, no, I get that. I was going to go into then another category we have. If you had to have a non-90s rapper on here, which in Volume 2 became, you have to put Pusha T on this album somewhere. So I'm gonna do both. But if you have to put, if you had non-90s rappers, I had one that I thought of immediately when I listened to this again recently.
It's Lupe, isn't it?
Isaiah Rashad. Hey.
Oh, okay.
Isaiah Rashad. No, because if you listen to Isaiah Rashad's he hasn't released an album in ages, but his albums are fucking great, and they give me that feeling of West Coast hippieism, I suppose black hippie of that as well, but I would love to hear him on this Splattitorium. Splattitorium remix with all of Black Hippie. Fuck off. Yes, I mean, I've just convinced myself that's the best track of all time.
Shut up, both of you.
Okay, but you said who? You said Lupe.
Lupe, yeah.
I could see Lupe on it.
Yeah, I can see that. James, have you got one?
Kid Kid Cudi. I might put him on it.
Yes.
Because
yes.
his singing's better and like more interesting than who's what's his Slim Kid does the singing on this, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does a few on them. Yeah.
And then also he's got a deep voice, which would be a nice sort of there's two very high pitched rappers on here, so another sort of lower tone would be quite good. Yeah,
nice chemistry. It could be a good chemistry on that. I like that. Yeah,
and he's a bit of a hippie as well. So
yeah, absolutely as well. He turns up on Saturday Night Live in a dress, mate, for Kurt Cobain. Love that. Let's go. Okay, hottest bars we've talked about a little bit, but I don't suppose anyone else has any, do they?
Yeah, I just like for turning her out into a hip hop freak. Now I seek counselling from a therapist twice a week. Normalizing therapy. I like it.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. 26 years ago. 26 years ahead of their time in every way.
He seems like he seems like a good guy. Have you seen his Spike Jonze documentary? Spike Jonze did a whole documentary on Fat Lip. You can watch it on YouTube. It's called What's Wrong with Fat Lip or What's Up with Fat Lip. And it's just literally just him like filming a music video, and in between the bits where they're filming his music video, they're just chatting. And like his stories and the way he is, he's just a really honest, sort of upfront person. Seems like a good dude. So
Oh, interesting. Okay. Might get him on the pod if we can get him.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. Well, that's banging. Any others for you, Ray?
Yeah, hottest bars.
Hottest bars.
Yeah, it's Slim Kid Trey on Draw. It's at the end of his verse, and I'm just going to say it, and I'm going to say it in his accent because it doesn't rhyme in my accent. Tear after tear in the puppet man's hands. Every time you take a stance, you do the puppet man's dance. And the world's at a standstill. Deep in broken mansville, trapped in the moat with an anvil. Still, killing yourself and dogging your health. You ain't amphibious, so grab a hold of yourself. I don't get it, but I almost do.
That's not your own accent. I thought you said you were going to do it.
It sounds really fucking deep. And it's like almost like, fuck, what does this mean? And I almost get it, but don't quite get it. It's like,
but that's fucking great.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
You're always chasing. You're always chasing. And that's what makes it timeless.
You almost you almost get the meaning of it, and I know it means something, but I don't really know what it means.
It's like Wu-Tang, like Ghostface and stuff on his album. Yeah, except you hated that, but you like it on this album. Okay, cool.
I hate that, and I love this.
Yeah, cool.
Thank you. Good.
No, but Reasonable Ray. That's why we call him Reasonable Ray. But it's true that there is that moments of, I want to know more. Like, I want to know more about this. It's almost like, what's the word? You know when something puts a flag bearing? It's a flag bearing hip hop album. As in, like, there's no one else doing this, you know? And it's like they did it to a point where you were like, I want more. And unfortunately, they broke up. They released a few other things, but they never hit this height. And it just makes you want more in your palette, you know, later on in life, where you're like, shit, I want to hear a bit more of that type of music. So I think this is one of them albums that did that for me, more so than Bizarre Ride, because Bizarre Ride was so off kilter.
Passed you by. Sorry, I'll stop.
Very good. Very good. But it's so humorous, and I love the fact that they play with humour in this as well. There's a lot of humour in this, but that was so humorous, it almost became like a carnival. And you're like, yeah, you have to be in a certain mood to get into Bizarre Ride, whereas this is more like, no, my everyday life. You know, you can listen to it, like you said, balling or whatever. Okay, hottest bars, love that. Album title and album artwork. Can I just talk about the album artwork for 1 second?
Yeah.
Because what I love about it is the fact that this album is growth, right? So they've done 3 years of touring, Bizarre Ride making them huge, and then they make this, and these don't look like the same guys. They're wearing suits on the fucking cover, for one thing. Even if they are a little bit, you know, they're still doing it their own unique way, but it's like, oh yeah, so they're all like proper suited up and now. And so you're old now, this is mature rap. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed how much they did that with just the album cover and the title. So fucking psychedelic. It's crazy.
I like the title. Labcabincalifornia is it's the Pharcyde. It's nothing else. It's only that. You know, it's nothing else.
Yeah.
But I wish the album cover was like a sequel to Bizarre Ride. You know, because Bizarre Ride had some crazy fucking artwork, and then they just had, you know, if you put that album, you hadn't heard any of it musically, and you put that next to Jay-Z, you'd be like, all right, they're in suits. He's next to a car.
Yeah, true.
Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, the front cover reminds me of what everyone was starting to do in hip hop, which is Hype Jones, fisheye lens videos, shiny suits. That was all
Hype
starting to
Jones.
Not
Is
Hype.
that Hype Williams?
Hype
with
Williams,
Spike
yeah.
I'd love to see that person.
Spike
just
Jones, Spike Jones and Hype Williams together would be great. They both like fish eyes, to be fair.
They do love a
Yeah,
fisheye. Love a fisheye.
But yeah, Hype Williams. It just looks like if that was Puff Daddy, Mace, Black Rob, and Biggie together, you'd be like, yeah, it's a standard bad
I mean,
boy
it's
photo.
almost it's misleading, actually, isn't it? But,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is a little bit, but obviously it ties into the video.
I do like the fact that they've like
it has
taken
stars there. It has stars in the video.
I like the fact that they've got the 3 sort of layers and they've not just done it as a straight photo. They've sort of that's quite nice.
Yeah. Again, it's like segmented, playing with kind of fucking shit. You can intellectualize all you want about it, but
Don't if anything.
don't do that. But okay, last one then. I know we've got sample corner to come in a minute, but I haven't really got much for sample corner for this one. But I do have some stuff.
I've got nothing for sample corner.
You never do, right, James?
it's all right, mate. Someone's done the work.
Wikipediaing it up.
But before we do that, Feature Trinity. This is for people who haven't heard before. Feature Trinity is you have to put one of these guys as a feature on this album. Busta, Method Man, or Nas. I'm gonna put DMX on. DMX did have fucking killer features, to be fair. But let's just
Should we change it to 4?
It should be DMX
in honor of X.
Not Nas. Not even.
Nas's features were unreal.
Just make it 4. It's fine. Just make it 4.
It's the feature quadrilogy.
Mate, it's the 90s. Cannabis, DMX.
Yeah, but then it becomes a
Busta.
feature. What's the word for 8?
How did we ever?
Trinity just sounds good, doesn't it?
Nas and Method Man should never have been in this. We've been doing this wrong from the start. Go back and edit all those episodes.
What Nas and Method Man's features were unreal. I'm talking about the Woo features.
What, better than Cannabis?
Well, the Cannabis features were another.
We're talking in the 90s here. Method Man's features in the 90s weren't as good as Cannabis.
Well, how about this?
They're
then?
mostly R&B features, weren't they? So
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
Ray. Let's agree on that.
Wow,
Good.
we agreed. Unbelievable. We should have a siren for that. We have one for demigods. We should have one for.
let's have a
Zoom,
Zoom, a high five. Oh, okay.
Never again. Okay, feature. So it's called Feature Trinity, but we're going to put Busta, Method Man,
DMX,
Nas,
Cannabis.
or DMX on it. So it's what's for 5? I can't remember what the word is for 5. But feature whatever.
Quintuplet. No?
Feature quintuplet.
I don't know. It's Buster
Okay,
anyway. It's
Feature
Buster anyway.
pentagram.
It's
Feature pentagram. Feature pentagram.
Buster.
I've got Buster as well.
It's Buster for
What
me,
have you
yeah.
got Buster on? What have you got him
Buster on drop, and him in the video.
Yeah.
That's just
That's
going
a
to
good
be
one.
Yeah,
That's
it'd be unreal.
Yeah.
See, I thought someone was going to do Buster on drop, and that's why I sidestepped it, my friend. I went with Buster, but hush down Buster. You know, Buster, where you're like, just chill,
Yeah.
and just bring a little bit slower and put him on the END. Because you know why? He loves talking about the end of the world. He loves talking about the end of the world.
does,
So this is the end. Let's put him on and just talk about some world ending shit, lad. Like, just do that, and we've got some sweet jazzy production for you, and just be measured pace. Bing bang bosh. Bob's your uncle. There you go.
Nice, I like
Bob's
it.
your uncle.
I drink to that.
There you go. What about you, James? Out of
I
the
can't
5?
beat. Your two are really good, so I'm just going to go with Mace on the cover.
Children of the Corn, big
Yeah.
one. Love that. Okay, well, sample corner's all that's left, Ray. Have you got a sample corner moment?
Yeah, I just really enjoyed You God from the Mystery of Chess Boxing on Devil Music. Check boxing. Yeah,
It's
exactly
just,
that.
it's just him
Yes.
online filling out forms. You got filling out forms online.
I'd probably watch that. I would. At least one video. I want to see what it's like. But okay, yeah. So you got, yeah, that's true. I missed that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's just got.
Yeah.
And then there's a Roy Ayers sample on the Hustle, which is the strings are. The strings are.
I did.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Wikipedia,
That is a
everyone.
banger.
Wikipedia.
That's about who sampled, mate. Who sampled? I think that wasn't the Wikipedia. That was a who sampled. Well, Ray, I'm loving this. Have you got a 30-second conclusion for me for Labcab?
You know what? I fucking have. You just
Okay.
fucking do it.
Well, let me put the timer on now. For people who don't know, this is where we try to sum up an album in 30 seconds. Ray, 3, 2, 1, go.
Rockabye, baby. Imani, Slim Kid Trey, Booty Brown, and Fat Lip with their smooth singing rap over J Dilla beats. You can't beat it. Stop running away and appreciate something that means something. Seriously, it is quintessential hip hop. It's hip hop your mum listens to, and it's hip hop your grandchildren will listen to. There comes a time in every man's life where they got to put Labcabincalifornia in Crate 808. Boom.
So what you're doing is that thing that Cam does on the intros, and you've just bitten it and it done it for your
To be
outro.
fair,
Well,
I think I was doing that before he did that on the fucking intros, so I'll take credit for the fucking intros. Yeah.
I think if you look back, that isn't true.
He's got upset.
I think if you look back, that's not true.
Okay, so in the
you're moulding truth. I enjoy your living up to the 2021 hype of just moulding truth now.
I think in the sort of theme of the Far Side now, we should break off into two podcasts. 808 is Ray's and yours is Crate. Two podcasts.
Great podcast.
Because they broke off into they're now the Bizarre Ride, aren't they? And
yes,
Pharcyde.
actually, yeah.
So
okay, I feel you.
That's what you should do. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Here's one then. If they perform live, Ray, in Australia, you're going to go see them? There's only two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Which two? Which two are you going to go see? Bizarre Ride or the Far Side? No. Let's find out. Which one does he like better? Because one Slim Kid. No, you got to go. They're both performing on the same night in Perth.
I'm representing this album. Everyone that's here, I'm gonna. No. That's it.
But you can only go see
wherever
Marley
Slim
and
Kid
Fat
is, okay, and wherever Slim Kid
Oh, there you go. There you go. Okay.
Because Slim Kid Trey and Fat Lip are the two who are together. They're the Bizarre Ride.
Because didn't Fat Lip leave first, and then later on Slim Kid Trey left, and then he was like, cool. We'll talk about. We'll gossip about those guys now.
Yeah, we're the best members of this group. Let's.
No, but I mean, they all bring some. That's what I've always loved about them. Is they all. There's no like when you listen to an album from Wu, and sometimes Master Killah might just kill the moment a little bit. I never found that with Pharcyde. I always found that they all brought it. And it's interesting you said Slim Kid because he's my favourite as well. There you go. So right, guys. Only now, what's left? What's left is which album gets into Crate 808. So let me have a little think. We'll get into it.
No, we do a vote, right? You can't vote for your own album.
What? A vote between us?
Yeah, I vote for Pharcyde. I vote for Pharcyde.
No, but that's new. That's not. No. Aren't we doing it where we just put it to the public? Isn't that what we're doing? That's what we did with the Infamous.
Oh, yeah. One for the algorithm.
Just put one.
Yeah, one for the algorithm.
Anyway,
either way, we'll do it like that. We'll do it like that.
Just pick one. Pick one. You pick one. What you think is the winner.
Well, we all know that is. We've had a little think. We've had a little ruminate about which album goes into Crate 808. People who've listened to this podcast know that it really lies with me, usually, the decision. And I usually just go with my own. And as usual, Iron Man is the better album, so it is going into Crate 808. But before it does, but I know people now get a little bit wound up about that and all that. I feel like it is still the best album, but what we're going to do, we're going to put it out there on Insta, on Twitter, and we're just going to put it out there and say, look, guys, which one do you prefer out of these? And that's the one that will get into Crate 808. So check out our Insta, check out our Insta stories, and we'll put it on there. But yes, guys, I don't know, what if we were just if you guys had a chance to have a choice of it going in, which one is your volume? The interesting one is James, because he didn't even want volume 2 in. So James, which one would you put in?
It's definitely the Far Side. Definitely the Far Side. It's got just a better. It's like an actual album rather than a collection of singles mixed in with a load of shit, which is volume 2. And then Iron Man is like, just doesn't quite track to track. It doesn't have the energy of the Far Side's album, and like it's got nothing on the Far Side's album comes close to the poignancy of All That I Got Is You, which is just a seminal masterpiece. But like out as an album, the Far Side's better. Lab Cabin's way better.
Okay, you can now see why Ray gets angry at James, because sometimes he's just really off the mark and you're like, I don't understand why he's saying all these things. But yeah, there you go. Sometimes it happens. You haven't triggered me though, it's fine. But okay, well there you go.
Basically everyone hates me on this podcast. That's my aim. That's what I try and do.
Everyone just to hate me. Okay, I'm enjoying that. People out there, check out crate808.com. Go on, Ray. Well, Ray, you're going to say Labcab, aren't you?
He's not going to fucking ask me. He's just going to skip over me. It's fine.
It's just
You're just going to say Labcab.
You said everything is shit. You said everything is shit.
Get in your box. Do some editing. Just fucking get the editing done. Shut up. I don't care about your fucking opinion.
Actual box. No, but Ray,
Labcab.
What's the point of being?
It's going to be Labcab off the strength. Honestly, it's off the strength of Running, because Running is an incredible track that everyone's heard, and like I said in the 30-second conclusion, that it's one that your mum listens to and what your grandchildren will listen to and their grandchildren will listen to. It's one of those tracks that's going to be around forever. Whereas as good as some of the tracks on Iron Man like Daytona 500. I'm always really happy to hear it, but I got to seek it out, and I'm like, yeah, fuck, this is sick. Whereas Running comes on by accident, I'm like immediately feeling better about the world.
Okay, interesting take to it. Yeah, I should have asked you. You're right. I should have asked you, and I'm glad I did. So, okay. Well, people, tell us what you think, or in the comments. It is on the YouTube comments. They all count as well. We'll put it all together. Hold on. Even my watch is talking now. That's how much it wants to get involved in this debate. But yes, check out crate808.com. Go sign up to the newsletter, because if you enjoyed this, we've got Patreon coming, and we've got a lot more content coming as well. Just more shows about 90s and shit. Get involved with the mailbag. We have got some ridiculous questions about, what are the weirdest dreams about rappers, the strangest place you've met them. If you had to have a rapper sleep on your couch, what would it be? What is the worst beat of 1995? All these
Who
good
should be in the
things.
feature pentagram? That needs to be...
Yeah.
Who
there
do you
we
think?
go.
We'll make it a trinity, because that's better. But like, who is your feature trinity?
So we're revamping that feature trinity. We've always had Method Man, Nas, and Busta, because they've had our favourite features from the 90s. But if you had to pick 3 rappers to go in there, which would they be? Would it be the same, or would you have others? I bet Cannabis is going to win this fucking like a landslide, isn't he?
I can't wait to bring his album, his 1998.
2000 BC.
No, that's 2000. That's a
Cannabis.
better album.
Oh,
I'd
he
prefer
did.
to bring that, but his shit first
Yes.
album will be just funny, won't it?
Yeah. I'm up for that. Okay, wicked. Well, guys, before I leave you then, got to hit you up with what's the last great piece of music you heard? So it can't be any of the 3 albums we've talked about. But Ray, have you got anything that you've heard recently? You've been like, fuck
What I've heard recently, which I'm surprised I haven't heard sooner. But anyway, well, maybe it's not a surprise, because that's Ray getting around to music. But Hard to Obtain's 2019 album Ism and Blues. Have you heard it?
You talked about Hard to Obtain earlier, didn't you? I remember. No, I have not heard it.
It's exactly the same vibe as the Pharcyde. So it's ridiculous, amazing. And yes, the title track Ism and Blues is the one. If you only got time to check out one track, check out that one now. It's ridiculous. And then
why do I know that?
Vinnie Paz's new album. I had to get a Demigods. Demigods reference. Vinnie Paz has got a new album out, Burn Everything That Bears Your Name. And highlights for me are Poppy Wardrobe. It's just weird to say.
Wardrobe's that is a great song title.
And
Poppy Wardrobe.
Another one is
that.
I'm Thinking of Ending Things, which is this as serious as it sounds, but expertly executed. It's amazing. So check it out.
Okay, I'm enjoying that, Ray. To be fair, I've got Vinnie Paz lined up for a listen today, so I'm going to go in. I always enjoy Vinnie Paz. James, last great piece of music you heard?
Okay,
What have you got, my friend?
it's an obvious one, but I've got a question for you related to it. It's Navy Blues' latest album, which has just been banging all the time.
When you say latest, which one's that? Just so I have it in my head.
What's it called? Song for Sage, Post Panic.
Okay, so that's last year, but his latest project. Yeah, absolutely.
Are we allowed to bring that for album of it came out like December 28th or something like that?
I wanted to, mate. I wanted to as well. Not gonna lie, I was gonna bring that as well, but I don't think we can. Plus,
why? That's ridiculous. It only was out for like 3 days in 2020.
Their mistake. His mistake. Their mistake. They should have thought.
You bought albums from 2018 for the last one.
Say, Ray, you can't say one thing about this, because you bought the Weeklies Volume 5, which was 2 years old.
Exactly. It was that good that it...
No, but
whatever.
I'm bringing Song of Sage. I'm bringing Song of Sage for this.
Those mistakes have already been made once. We can't make those mistakes again.
We're supposed to learn, aren't we? We're supposed to learn. Post Panic is right up there for me for one of the most listened to. Do you know what on that? The last great piece I heard? Nobles. Have you fucking heard Nobles? Mate, navy blue, Earl on an Alchemist.
Oh yeah, I heard that the cover of that. Is that his new album? Is he got Alchemist?
Alchemist.
The cover's really nice.
album.
It's like an old blues album. It's cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that cover. I have seen that cover.
Jazzy.
Actually, yeah.
Have you seen the video?
Yeah,
No.
the video
Have you
is
seen the video?
nice. It's just them. They're friends from youth, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they're friends from back in
Because
the day.
there's like
Navy
shots
Blue,
in it of them as kids playing together.
Navy Blues is fucking amazing though.
Yeah,
Navy
I
Blues
know
is
this. I know this.
And Earl, everyone knows about Earl, but people need to get on that navy blue tip, man. He's amazing. But yeah,
My other thing. Oh, sorry. Carry on.
No, go on.
I was going to say the other thing is, if it's a non-hip hop one, but have you listened to much Fred Again?
Fred Again? No.
He's an electronic music producer. He works with Heady One on some of his albums, but he's got his own music. He's got that emotional electronic music style of what's his face, Burial, but Burial's darker, whereas he's like a lighter, kind of happier version, but it's got a similar vibe to it, emotional kind of electronic music. Worth having a listen to. He's got a new album out, but like check out some of his singles before that. They're great.
Is he like Sampha? Sounds a bit like Sampha to me. I don't know what you're saying.
No, not really.
No. Okay, cool. No, okay, I want to check that. No, not that. Fred Again. Okay, Heady One.
And what's yours?
Actually, so yeah. Well, Nobles was the last great piece.
Yeah, Nobles is amazing. Great. Yeah.
Unbelievable. But 2 shout-outs for just 2 albums that I'm loving, and that's Brockhampton's new album. I love Brockhampton anyway, but Don't Shoot Up the Party is just going to be on all the
Never got into them. I need to check them out. Everyone's always going on about them. Oh man,
Saturation. Yeah, I think you really like them, mate. Okay. Their first few albums are fucking incredible. I don't think they'll ever hit that height again, to be fair.
Didn't one of them get Me Too'd?
Yeah, but he's out. They took him out.
He's gone. He's gone now. It's fine. It's all good.
Yeah, well, yeah, essentially it is. But yeah, no, that one. But I know we had them on the pod, and I know the video and everyone is doing bits. So do go check out the Arm & Hammer interview that we did. I know a lot of people are loving that interview. But also the album Haram is just keeps giving, man. Just Stone Fruit is just one of the best songs about love and relationships in hip hop when it's just so fucking dark as well. And it got me watching a film called Babylon. I don't know if you've watched it, but it's on Netflix, and they sample, well, no DMCA like.
Do you remember Babylon 5?
No, I do remember Babylon 5. It's not like that though. But yeah, so yeah, Stone Fruit is amazing. Fucking everyone knows that track. That album's amazing. Indian Summer.
We can talk about 90s sci-fi as well. That can fit into great area. Yeah. It's fine.
If you want to.
Babylon 5's a stone cold classic.
Does sci-fi then go into Buffy? Because I'm here for Buffy.
Oh, you've ruined it. You've ruined it. You've ruined it.
You are the Joss Whedon of this podcast.
God, don't say that. Jesus Christ. Well, guys, on that bombshell, we're gonna move on. But guys, thank you for bringing that. I'm sure there we go. Oh, wow. Yes.
Nice.
Check the merch.
Nice t-shirt. I need to get one of those. That's great.
Yes, crate808.com. Get yourself a t-shirt for all your YouTube listeners and watchers. There was Ray showing it right there. But yes, we should catch you on the flip side for more just hip-hop goodness, man. So yeah, Ray, peace. James, peace.
I've been working on my sign-off. I'm going to try this one out for a bit, and then we'll see if it works or not.
Go on.
Live long and prosper.
That's new. That's new. That's new and also very
It's very dad. Have you had a son in the last since I last saw you? That's so
dad.
Live long and prosper.
Doesn't even relate to anything.
I know. It's just the sci-fi.
I'm going to start signing off with my Jordan Peterson impression.
That was
goodbye. It's weird that it should be so accurate. I don't get it.
I know, it's almost like he watches more of him than you do, Ray.
Just for this purpose.
Imagine Ray and Jumbo just racking up the Jordan Peterson algorithm. It's like, fuck me, Jumbo, stop. Right, anyway, on that, we shall catch you soon. Boom.